What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today I'm going to be going over how you can obtain and upgrade your Solstice of Heroes armor for hunters. This year's Solstice of Armor event runs from July 6th through August 3rd, and while it may feel like you've got plenty of time to get all of the things done for the Solstice armor, there are a ton of objectives with this. Quite a few things to get accomplished, especially if you're after the Filigree of Light exotic ghost shell net, because that's going to require you to complete all three of the sets for all three characters, both Hunter, Warlock, and Titan. And that's why I put together this guide to help you guys out with getting this done as easily and as efficiently as possible. That way you can move on to the other things in your life, you know, like grinding away for the Vex Mythoclast maybe, or doing something other than Destiny than just grinding away at this armor, because it's definitely a lot of grind. So I wanted to make sure we get this out to you guys to provide you with the quickest and easiest ways to get it done. So as always, if you enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Both are greatly appreciated. And just again, guys, if you're still in need of a fire team, looking for a home for your Guardian, be sure to check out our Discord link in the description below and join the Guardians of SBK community and clan. Anyways though, so this year's Solstice armor is broken out into three sets for each class. You've got a renewed set, which is the blue, you've got a legendary set, which is the majestic, and then the legendary masterwork set is called magnificent. Now, all three of these are available, and all three of them will need to be completed if you're after the Filigree of Light Ghost. But if you're okay with not getting that ghost, you can complete the magnificent version of the armor after the event is done. But otherwise, these three are the armor sets that you're going to need to complete to get the complete effect of the Solstice of Heroes and to get that awesome glow. So we begin with our renewed armor. And to start, you're going to have to visit Eva Levante in order to receive your helmet. Now, it's just going to be the helmet at first. She's going to send you off to do an introductory round of the EAZ encounter. You need to make sure that you wear your helmet during this encounter so you get credit. That way you don't have to inevitably do this over again. But once you complete it, you head back to Eva. She gives you the next round of this introductory quest, which is giving you the rest of the armor set. And now that you've already finished the first objective, which was to complete the EAZ with the helm, now you've only got two more objectives left for the helmet. So the next objectives for completing the renewed helmet are going to be to collect 200 elemental orbs of any type, anywhere, and you have to defeat 20 combatants with finishers anywhere. Both objectives are easily done in any activity of your choosing, best fitted in the EAZ, of course. Now, the renewed gauntlets, these objectives require you to complete one playlist activity. This can be Crucible, Gambit, or Strikes, and open 10 Solstice packages. You also need to defeat 200 fallen combatants. Now, fallen are pretty much scattered all across the world, or all across the galaxy at this point, so you can easily find them between Override and all of the other activities. Pretty much fallen are scattered everywhere right now, just like Vex. The renewed chest requires you to complete 2 public events, and you can do this on any destination. You also need to create 50 elemental orbs with solar or stasis. So this means you need to have the solar or stasis subclass equipped and generate those elemental orbs. Now, you also need to defeat 30 Guardians in the Crucible, and this can be on any of the playlists. It also would include invading while in Gambit. Now, the renewed boots require you to create 50 orbs of light. This one's pretty easy. Overall, the whole blue set is fairly easy. It's just a little monotonous. You also need to complete one patrol on any destination and get 50 super kills. Blade Barrage obviously is going to be the best option for this one. The renewed Hunter Cape or Cloak. This objective will have you completing 3 normal lost sectors. You also have to collect 100 void elemental orbs and defeat 100 combatants with precision kills. Once you have completed the entire renewed set, you will return back to Eva on the tower, and then she's going to give you the majestic set for you to level up. Now, I suggest as always, to all your classes, once you get to the Majestic set and you've leveled it up, switch over to the next character. That way you can utilize the advantages of the accelerants. There's 4 levels of the accelerants, and they make it easier for your additional characters to progress through these. So you definitely want to take advantage of those accelerants. So be sure to do that as you're leveling up these gears. Now, once you get your Majestic set, now things are going to be getting a little more intense, a little more grindy, especially for this Majestic set. As far as these requirements, the Majestic Helm, it's going to require you to defeat 5 bosses in a single run of the EAZ encounter, and you got to do this 3 times over. You're going to need to collect 500 total elemental orbs, and this can be of any of the types, including on Prism Day. You also need to rapidly defeat enemies. You have to do this 100 times, or 100 total enemies, guys. So you don't have to do it 100 times, because rapidly defeating enemies constitutes as 3 enemies defeated quickly. You don't have to do that 100 times. You just have to defeat 100 total enemies quickly. So, Majestic Gauntlets, these are going to require you to complete 100 overall rounds within Altar of Sorrows, which is on the moon, or in Override. Since Override is the seasonal activity, you're going to have a better time going this route, but because of the event, you're probably going to see a lot more people over on the moon, especially for the free-to-play players. Now, you're also going to need to receive 20 empowerment buffs, and these are done by collecting the proper empowerments, proper elements. So if it's on Solar Day, you need to make sure you're matching up with Solar to receive these empowerments. You're also going to need to defeat 200 combatants with void weapons. Now, the Majestic chest piece, this requires you to collect 50 Solstice key fragments. This is done throughout the EAZ events. You also have to complete either 100 blind well activity rounds or Wrathborn hunts. Finally, you're going to need to get 50 solar grenade kills. If you're having trouble getting these grenade kills, one thing that I would suggest for you to do is, well, go check out the Shattered Throne dungeon, go down to where the Thrall room is, where you're slowed, and just destroy all those Thrall down there, because it's an endless supply of Thrall. Side note to that, that's an excellent place to go to level up your catalysts, not callists, your catalyst for your exotics. For the Majestic boots, you will need to create 100 arc or stasis orbs while in a playlist. This can be Gambit, it can be Crucible, it could be Battlegrounds, it could be Strikes, as long as it's on a playlist. You're also going to have to get 50 melee kills while being equipped with an arc subclass, which is great for hunters. This one should be knocked out pretty quickly. Finally, you will need to complete 100 rounds or activities of either Europa events or Battleground events. Since Battlegrounds is on a playlist, I would suggest to hit up that first. Europa, is probably going to see a little bit more activity because of the event, but odds are you're going to find more success with Battleground. Now, the Illuminous Majestic Cloak. This will require you to defeat 50 powerful Cabal, which will be the yellow barred enemies. Now, since you're most likely going to be in Battlegrounds or Strikes or Gambit, Cabal show up in all of these. Your odds are pretty high on being able to get this one completed as you're completing the other objectives for your other armor pieces. You're also going to need to create 50 solar elemental orbs while you are in the EAZ activities. You're also going to need to complete 3 Nightfalls or competitive Crucible matches. So you have an option there whether you want to jump into Crucible competitive or just do Nightfalls. It doesn't specify what level of Nightfalls, as long as it's a level of Nightfall. Once you've completed the Majestic pieces, you're going to return to Eva once again, and now she's going to reward you with the Magnificent Armor set. This is the point in which Guardians can complete these objectives after the event has finished. But if you do that, you're not going to get rewarded with the Filigree of Ghost, or Filigree of Light Exotic Ghost. So if your goal is that, you're going to need to make sure that you get the Magnificent level for all 3 of your characters completed. But once you have gotten the Magnificent set, so you're going to start with the Helm. you're going to have to complete 1 Master or Grandmaster Nightfall. Now, you have to be 1335 to enter Grandmaster. Obviously, Master is going to be a little bit easier to obtain or to complete, but for those high enough, it shouldn't be an issue to complete the Grandmaster. Gauntlets are going to require you to complete 1 raid, and it can be any of the raids. You're going to have much higher success finding a fire team that knows how to get Vault of Glass done right now, because it's the most recent and most relevant of the raids. Now, on the chest piece, these are going to require you to complete 1 dungeon of any of the dungeons available in Destiny. Same rules kind of apply here. You're going to probably find more people available to do Prophecy than you would with Pit of Heresy. Now, boots are going to require you to defeat either 15 champions or 15 guardians in competitive playlist. Odds are, for players that are PvP savvy, this won't be an issue in competitive, but for those of you who want to refrain from going into competitive, just load up Override, because you're going to defeat multiple champions each and every encounter. Now, the last thing that you're going to have to complete is for your cloak, and this is going to require you to complete 3 legendary or master law sectors. These can be done anywhere on any destination. Since they rotate daily, you're going to have to just see what is available on the day that you're wanting to complete this one. But again, it's important to note here that these objectives can be completed after the event is over. So if you come in late to this event, or for whatever reason life gets in the way, as it should always come first, if something prohibits you from being able to get this done, you can do it after the fact. But I would also highly suggest against anybody leveling up their armor while getting these armor sets completed. You're really just wasting your materials, wasting your money, and wasting your time. In all honesty, once you complete your Majestic set, you're going to want to still purchase the packages to receive that armor at a higher stat roll. So that's what I would really suggest everybody to do. So don't invest a whole lot of time and effort into these sets until you've gotten everything done. Now, it's also important to keep in mind that as you're completing activities, especially in the Majestic armor level, if you need to change off a piece, say you're working on a dungeon, so you need to have your arms on, the gauntlets, but you don't need to have the helmet, for example, and you want to use Wormhusk, you can use Wormhusk because you just have to have the gloves on when you complete that dungeon. So keep that in mind, but otherwise you do need to make sure that you have the armor equipped when you're wanting to get those objectives done. Overall, it's going to take you quite a bit of time, but utilizing some of the tips and tricks that I've given you throughout this video, it should definitely minimize that time. The important thing is the utilization of those accelerants. They're really going to speed things up for your second and third characters. So you really want to get to the point of accelerants, swap characters, and do it all over again. Get everybody up to the Majestic level and then just knock them out one after the other. And if you can do that in the next month, you're going to wind up having all of the triumphs done. You're going to have all the glows to all of your characters. You're going to be a much happier guardian, and you're going to have that really badass looking exotic ghost. But even not, you're going to have an awesome looking guardian with some awesome looking armor. I really do like this armor this season, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about the armor as well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and found help out of it. If so, be sure to hit the like button below. It's greatly appreciated, as is hitting the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Until next time though, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing y'all some happy hunting.